Well, one of the things that we used to talk about in Washington is feeding the beast. The more the government takes in tax dollars, the more it ultimately spends. And this is a very interesting chart because it shows that once Ohio enacted an income tax, we had an exponential growth in government spending. It's almost like when the government builds a building. When it builds a building, you can bet that it's going to fill it with a bunch of bureaucrats, a bunch of government workers. When we look at the history of Ohio, we can see how slowly the government grew. But once the revenue became available, the politicians then showered this money on whatever their interests were. And this exponential growth of spending has created a real problem for the state, because now, if we keep the income tax in, we're going to continue to drive businesses, companies, people out of this state. But we have a challenge, and that is to reduce the growth of this government. In other words, to restructure the state of Ohio to a point where these numbers can level off, we can begin to reduce the income tax and ultimately phase it out. If we're able to do that, in my judgment, we then have a fighting chance to be able to attract jobs to our state.